How much money does a barber make? Yearly salary, weekly, gross? That's a very interesting question, and I'm going to answer it. Um, I've been a barber professionally for 6 years, going on 7 years, and this has always been an interesting question. So you're either watching this video because you're interested in possibly pursuing the career of a barber, or you may be a client who is just curious, or another barber who's just curious. So let's talk. I'm going to give you numbers. Um, I'm going to give you examples of how, and I'm going to give you tips on how to keep up with it or to set goals so that you can make more money. And at the very end, I'm going to give you a hypothetical of how much I probably maybe make and show you the system that I use to calculate my earnings. Or it's kind of prehistoric, but it works very well for me. It's a lot of logging, but I like it. So let's get right into it. So how much does a barber make? I've heard stuff from barbers make millions to barbers make a couple thousand to barbers make 20. It's everywhere. I know the goal for me when I was a barber was to make $100,000 a year. I think that's anybody's goal for the most part. Any occupation or career that you pursue, 100,000 just seems like the number. When you get there or close to that, you've kind of made it back to being a barber, right? So it can be so many variables into how much you make a year or to how much you make a week. Mainly being how much you charge, and secondly being how many hairs you cut a week. We all love tips, but you don't want to rely on tips. You want to rely on the base price that you set, because no matter what, that's the least you're going to get, for the most part. There's times where we might help people out, take a discount, but for the most part, your base price is how much you charge for that service and how much you're going to make when that service is done, right? So that's what when the grind first starts, the first year or two, you're hungry because barbers are entrepreneurs. Unless you work at like a pro cuts or commission-based shop, everything is what you bring to the table. It's 100% commission. So with that being said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Now, right now, I'm at a point where I work a full Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, I'm not there. Monday, I may work 2 hours. Tuesday, I may work a couple hours, Now, you're not going to work. When you get comfortable and established, I don't think personally, I hardly see a barber work every single day and cut 10 heads every single day, 10 heads is a comfortable number, because 10 times 7 is what? That's $1,400 a week. That's still, that's not bad. The average job in America, you're not going to make $1,400 a week. Now, you have to also minus booth rent, and so that comes out too, depending on your booth rent in your area. Some varies. In the area I'm at, booth rent is around $200 a week. You might find a spot for $175 or so. So people say, man, I'm gonna cut 10 heads a day, every single day. That's pushing it, because you don't want to. It's all on how you work your body. I consider myself a workaholic. From Thursday through Saturday, I'm going to be there easily 15 hours a day. Like I said, but Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I have a full family. I have a family, 2 daughters and a wife. They need me as well. So all of those factor. So back to my key points. How much you charge, how many heads you cut a day, and how long do you work? How much are you willing to commit to it? So my story is this. When I first came into barbering, I was told, oh, you're going to easily make $60,000 a year off the top. Okay, now that's not, no. I fell into it. I believed it wasn't true, because it's on me. Now, if you're blessed into a certain situation to where the shop that you go to or the shop that you start to work at is already booming and the walk-ins there is crazy, then you're gonna win. But in this day and age, there's so many barbershops and so many barbers that walk-ins are not something that you want to consistently rely upon. So realistically, the first year, if you work consistently, and this is not all based off clientele, this is based off you being there and your face becomes familiar to the consumer or the client, you can make easily, a good $30,000 a year, right? 506. That's 76 dollars a week. Now, the reason I say that is because this is your first year out of barber school. Unless you've been cutting for years before you just getting your license to be legal, that's great numbers by American standards as far as the economy goes, or as far as economic growth goes. Now, that's only because your face is, you're there. You're at the barbershop. They see you. They see you working. They see your commitment. Because when I first came to the barbershop, the reason why I grew is because I was always there. Like, when I say always there, I woke up in the morning, I was there. When other barbers went home, I was still there. I needed that. I wanted to be great. I wanted to be in a financial situation to where I can get whatever I want and get my family whatever they want. Year two. Year two, you still grew, but you're not going to financially grow as much because that first year, you ate off of, for me personally, from what I've seen, you ate off of clientele, small clientele, and the walk-in status, right? So this next year, you're still going to do walk-ins, but your clientele base builds. So you're not going to have that same incoming flow as far as clientele to walk-in, because the first year it was more walk-ins and clientele because you spent hours there. The second year is going to be clientele and walk-ins, walk-in secondary. So I may say by the end of year two, you may be at $1,000. At the same time, this also comes with your work ethic. How hard do you want to work? How much time do you want to put in, right? And how fast your skills grow. Because no matter how good you are in barber school, when you get to a barber shop around a whole bunch of professional barbers who've been doing their craft for a while, your skills are going to have to be sharpened, right? A tip that I'm going to give you. Now, after year two, it's all on you. There's so many social media outlets, from Instagram, Facebook, and all of the stuff is free. You can market yourself. It's all about how much you want this. There's no reason why there shouldn't be a successful barber, because there's so many outlets that are free. From YouTube to Facebook to Instagram to Twitter to Snapchat. And this is free marketing for you. The business card has become obsolete because there's no need for it. There's still that one-on-one, face-to-face, here, man, call me. But I haven't made a business card in about 3 years, honestly. Because my DMs on Instagram are full. My Facebook messages are full. It's digital now. The new age is digital. The new era is tech, and that growth is there. You don't paperless is when was the last time you picked up a newspaper? There's no reason why you shouldn't grow. Now, a method that I can use to track your money, right? So let's say first you set a goal of how much you want to make a week, right? You're still a fairly new barber. You want to make, let's just say you want to make $1,000 a week. That's how much you want to make a week. You tell yourself $1,000 is what I want. That's what I'm setting my goal to. So what you do is take 1,000, plug it in your computer, your calculator, right? And this is the best way to visually keep track of what you want. Take 1,000. Then what you do is you divide it by how much you charge. So, because 1,000 is the weekly goal, and your haircuts are $20, right? We're gonna say you charge $20. Divide by 20. 50. 50 is the number of heads that you have to cut. So you can divide that by how many days a week, how many heads a day that you want, but 50 is your goal, and 50 is the number that you're not gonna stop that week until you hit that number. And from there you break it down further. So let's say you're gonna work 5 days a week. You're gonna take yourself off a Sunday and a Monday, right? So you have 5 days a week. Now what you do is you have to divide that 50 by 5 because you're working only 5 days. So you have 5 days to get 50 people in. 10 heads a day. Wow, came back to the 10 heads a day. $200 a day. 5 days. So if you can get 10 heads for 5 days, right? You can do it. So we're at 10 heads a day. Let's say it takes us 30 minutes to cut a head. We're gonna say you can cut and do a crispy edge up in 30 minutes. So that's 2 heads an hour. So that means we work 5 hours. If I can do 10 heads a day and be at work for 5 hours, you're gonna be at work for 8 hours regardless. So you're giving yourself some extra cushion to make extra money. And I'm gonna show you my system. So basically what I would do is I start every week off with the number of circles. So my circles are, I have 70 circles, right? 70 circles times what I charge is 30. That's 2,100. Am I gonna hit that consistently? No, but that's the goal for the week, and I mark it each day. I say I cut 10 hits a day. I'm marking them off. Boom, boom, boom. Each circle represents how much I charge. So if I charge $30, the one circle is 30 bucks, right? So when you do that, so it's all about keeping calculations. So that way you know how much you literally make and you keep an eye on it. That's just like if you know how much weight that you need to lose to get to a certain point, you're going to work hard to get it. But if you're blindly just walking and just doing a little sit, you're never going to reach it, right? So you pick a goal, you set a goal, and you stick to it. Barbers usually, I mean, the average barber I know, me personally, I probably started first year, at the end of my first year, making $700 a week. You know, that's because I was always there. Second week, at the end of the year, I was probably at like $1,200 a week. You can do the math, just times that times 52. And I'm giving you average numbers. I made a little bit more, I made a little bit less. We had holidays, you know. So, but right now, I'm doing really good. I'm going to show you hypotheticals that may be me, that may not be me, but I'm going to show you a system that I use so that you can kind of get a real sense of what barbers do and how we do it and how we work, right? That's pretty much it. So that's pretty much what a barber makes. Barbers, can typically make. So it's infinite. It's really all on you. What do you want to make? But to give you a numbers perspective, a barber can start off the first year making $30,000, depending on his work ethic and his grind, depending on the barbershop that he goes in, the buzz that he already has, and depends on his marketing skills. Now, second, third year, now you can start reaching the $50,000 and $60,000 a year. Now that's when that cash really starts to flow in. By year 5, you can get the $100,000 a year. Do you want to work for? Are you going to raise your prices to what they need to be so you can work less, work smarter, not harder? Are you charging what you feel that you're worth, but still being reasonable for the client? Thanks for watching the video. I'm going to show you my books so you can get a visual on how it really looks from my perspective and how I work it. So if you ever want to use the system, you can. All right, thanks. Game Changer, subscribe. Basically, the way it works is like I said, I start each week off with 70 circles, right? And after each cut, I mark an X through a circle. I mean, each circle represents $30. Each row is 10, so I know 10 times 30 is 300. So I do 300 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 300 times 6, whatever that number is, then I add the remainder, right? I want to calculate this week right here. What I would do is I would do the math, and that would be 1980. So I made $1,980 before booth rent. Once I get through with the month, or I get to 4.5 weeks, I do the calculations, and I take that calculation for the month, and that can be done for average yearly salary. So it's simple. So you never know exactly how much you make, but this gives you a very good guesstimation, and it also sets goals. Like I say, that's pretty much how I calculate my funds or calculate how much money I make. And if you have any questions, just drop them down below, and I will be sure to comment back. I'll let you know. I hope I shed some insight on everything. A lot of people have been wanting to know about barbers, money. Here it is, and that's pretty much how it goes. Thanks. I appreciate you watching. Enjoy. Subscribe to my channel.